The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat have never liked each other. In last year's playoffs, things got out of control as passions ran high and fists flew on the court. In the end, Miami was tougher and sent the Knicks home. New York wants revenge in a bad way, and today they get that chance. It's the Miami Heat versus the New York Knicks in a grudge match on NBA Raw. A year ago, you needed a crowbar to separate the Heat and the Knicks. A year ago, the Heat were the Atlantic Division champions over New York, and they've done it again this year. Their reward, second seed in the playoffs. Miami coach Pat Riley has challenged Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning to lead this team to their first NBA championship. The boys have risen to the occasion and have been playing like all-stars.
Hardaway, he's done everything but drive the team bus tonight.
Teammates P.J. Brown and Dan Marley have been coming up big.
Marley sets for the three. Got it. Whoa, there's so many weapons for Miami.
And despite breaking his cheekbone last week, tough guy Zoe has hardly missed a beat.
Alonzo the challenge, and Kevin shot away.
That's too easy.
Meanwhile, the Knicks have had a whole heap of injury troubles. They've lost a cast of thousands, including Patrick Ewing, but even without him, New York has remained competitive. In Miami's last visit to the Garden, the Knicks proved they still have what it takes to beat the Heat. But now the collection of injuries are starting to bite, and their confidence is beginning to waver. Last Saturday, they lost to the New Jersey Nets.
Cassell on a quick crossover, driving in.
And on Sunday, they even lost to the lowly Boston Celtics. The slippery slope continued Tuesday night with a crushing loss to the Atlanta Hawks. The gossip here in New York is whether the Knicks will make the playoffs at all. Right now, they're clinging on to 7th position with New Jersey, Orlando and Washington biting at their heels. Which means if the playoffs start today, they face
Miami, of course.
Miami.
Well, Webbo, forget about the playoffs. What really counts is tonight's game, and without Ewing, the Knicks are going to need a big-time performance from someone else. And that someone should be Allen Houston. He has come out of the shadows of Ewing's game to get some of his own fame. But the Knicks have had to alter their style to tap into Houston's talents. When they had Ewing in the lineup, the plan was simple. Get the ball to the big man on the inside and let him score. That was then, this is now. The Knicks still look inside, but with Houston as the go-to guy, they're more inclined to pass the ball outside and look for Houston for the shot. Bullseye. The play usually works because he has one of the sweetest jump shots in the NBA.
Houston for three.
The Knicks would like to see Allen drive the ball to the basket more so he can draw fouls. That means he can get some easy points at the free throw line where it is almost automatic. If Houston does drive more tonight, it will only put more pressure on the Miami defense, and that's good news for the Knicks.
Houston driving on Jordan into a crowd, counted plus the foul.
On paper, Miami has more offensive potential. Why? Because they have Alonzo Mourning on the inside and some big-time shooters from three-point range.
Marley sets for the three. Got it.
A three for Timmy. Leonard beats the buzzer and wins the game.
All those weapons for the Heat give them options. Watch how it works. The ball goes inside to Zoe. The shooters then position themselves around the perimeter and wait for the big man to make his move. He then draws the double team and kicks the ball to the open man.
Right on Hardaway for three. Good.
The Knicks better not forget about Dan Marley's versatility.
Nice pass inside to Alonzo Mourning.
Thunder Dan brings a nice stop-and-go move to the table. He stops and then goes to the basket for the score. It's the kind of play that can exploit the Knicks' soft middle. New York will have to deal with Marley's veteran experience in order to beat the Heat. Miami's Tim Hardaway is a double threat. Watch his dribbling skills and look out for his three-point shooting. They're both deadly moves. The Knicks' Charles Oakley is one of the toughest players in the league, but his jump shot is what makes him so dangerous.
So there there's your starting fives, and there's your man in the master, and especially Leonardo DiCaprio impression. Alonso Mourning, he's big and brave and he's out there.
Hey, Zoe looks a little funky there, but his game sure isn't. He's going to have a big night tonight because there's no Chris Dudley, no Buck Williams, and no Patrick Ewing for the Knicks.
But of course, 5 out of 6 losses for the Knicks, but they're not going to come out here expecting to lose this one.
Oh, no. Van Gundy's going to have him real pumped up. He's going to play the revenge card on him. You know what, though? The Heat, more wins, more talent, won the Atlantic Division. Got to take the Knicks, though.
Yeah, typical from a Knicks fan. Here we go. It's Miami in New York. And in the first quarter, Zoe has already proved he's ready to play, taking it to the soft New York centre. Charles Oakley has responded for the Knicks with 8 points, all from jump shots, taking them into a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Into the second now, and it's 21 apiece.
To get a shot off here tonight, people are really in your face, and they're doing an excellent job, and they're making it tough on all the dribbling.
Hey, this is a preview of the playoffs. That's right. We're going to see this kind of style in your face. John Starks finally hits. Starks 1 of 4 from the field. As we said, 20% in his last 4 games before last night. Here's Murdoch going for 3. P.J. Brown knocks it away into the hands of Starks. And a steal by Murdoch. An easy basket by Strickland. And Eric Murdoch, all over the floor, has made 2 dazzling defensive plays.
Well, Pat Riley says he just has that innate ability to play the lane. When he was at Milwaukee, always in the top 10 in steals.
Miami outscoring the Knicks inside 10-0. Here is Mills going in, hits the basket and draws the foul. Chris Mills, who had played very well off the bench before Jeff Van Gundy returned him to the starting lineup last night.
Now, Chris Mills is an excellent three-point shooter, but here he fakes the 3, catches Marley up, and as he comes in, finishes with his left hand. Now, when Chris played at Cleveland for 4 years, he averaged 13 a game. Now, this is just excellent anticipation by Murdoch. Give it up, let Strickland finish it off.
And Chris Mills trying to complete a 3-point play, acquired from the Boston Celtics when the Knicks traded a lot of their young players to Boston before the season started. Then Ewing got hurt, so the Knicks in essence might have mortgaged some of their future for this year, and we don't know how that's going to work out. Fighting to make the playoffs. Knicks lead by 3, 26-23, with 7:22 to go in the first half. Here is Mourning, ball stripped away, and into the hands of John Starks. 4 on 3 for the Knicks, and a pass inside, and Larry Johnson is fouled by Deshaun Leonard.
Well, anytime that you're in transition and you get a chance to post the man up in the paint, right in front of the basket, take him there, because all defenders play you from the back. And when you do that, once the pass comes in, all you have to do is muscle him to the rim.
Miami Heat turning it over 7 times already in this first half. John Starks is in 2 in a row. That's a 3-point basket, and the Knicks with a 6-point lead. 1 below their game high of 7.
We have 2 high wire racks here in 3-point attempts at both ends. 19 and 14. 19 Miami, 14 for the Knicks.
And the Knicks have been one of the better teams in the league defending against the 3-point shot. So
that was a double dribble.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And you know, Dick, that happens so often in basketball, and the referee sometimes will miss it because the guy does it with such conviction.
And the Knicks continue to stretch their lead. We pick it up later in the second, with the Knicks leading by 39-26. Miami have possession. It's in the hands of Hardaway.
Biggest lead of the game, the Knicks by 13 as we wind down to 3 minutes to go in the half. Hardaway off the mark, and Childs tries to save it, but it'll be Miami's ball.
You know, Dick, everyone keeps emphasizing the Knicks are tied with New Jersey for 7th and 8th place on the loss side. But, you know, no one is talking about the fact, yeah, Miami, they won their division, but in the second round, if they have to play Indiana, that's still a fight here for, you know, who's ahead of who, night in and night out. So this is a big game for both teams.
That's been the goal that Pat Riley has talked about in a 7-game series. Should they play Indiana in the second round, having that home court advantage, it looms so large.
Absolutely.
17 seconds on the shot clock. Pat Riley trying to avoid 2 straight losses. The Heat have not lost 2 in a row since the end of January and the beginning of February.
Yeah, it really is. But, you know, this is the guy that's got to get going and get in a rhythm, Dick. And I know he had it last night, but when you think about it, Minnesota, the defense is not as strong as they're running into here this evening.
Alonzo Mourning cuts the Knicks lead to 11. Nearly 2.5 to go in the first half. Oakley way off the mark. He had Mourning in his face.
Well, Oakley thought he got hit. That's why he's complaining. I'm sorry I cut you off there, but he thought he got hit. He's still in Teddy Bernhardt's face right now.
You can always cut me off for that observation. Here is Alonzo, and he goes up and draws the foul. So the Heat going to the low post now, the last 2 times down.
Now just keep an eye now on Mourning as they go down in there. Oakley will always sacrifice his body. And then as Alonzo makes the move, he's got the power moves. And then the nice lefty jump hook. And you're always trying to tell young players, high school and college, when you come into this league, you've got to have a jump hook game. You've got to have, if you can finish with both hands, you've got an advantage because any guy can shoot a fadeaway jump shot. That does not get it done at this level if you're going to put big numbers on the board.
You've got to have a variety of moves inside as the Knicks, Oakley going to the bench. Oakley picking up his second foul, has 8 points. Childs and Starks in the backcourt with Houston, so the Knicks going with 3 guards in the lineup right now. Mourning 1 out of 2 from the free throw line.
Good move by Jeff Van Gundy. Why have Oakley pick up a cheap foul in the last 2 minutes when you're up by 10 points?
39 to 29. The Miami Heat held to 29 points, coming in averaging 95 on the year. And Allen Houston now in double figures with 11. He leads the Knicks.
That's the 3rd time they've run that staggered screen down on the baseline, Dick. It's a beautiful move, and it's a catch and a shot for Houston.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Mourning, the double shown. Bashawn Leonard going baseline. Knicks with a stifling defense, and Mills gets a rebound. 3-on-3 right now. Starks goes behind to Childs. Childs nearly lost control. Allen Houston nearly brought the crowd out of its seat, and Mills foul going in. And let's see, they may have a double foul called. Dick Bavetta will go to the scorer's table. They got to keep the lid on with these teams. Remember, 4 technical fouls and a flagrant when these teams played February 1st. These teams have been known to duke it out, and a double foul has been called against Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson.
Yeah, that was a good call. And Dick Bavetta is not going to allow anything to get started here. Now, we all know that the impulse of guys at this level, they react so quickly, and sometimes guys get popped in a hurry. But right now, what you're trying to do is to eliminate all of the little skirmishes before we get into a war.
And Dick Bavetta, pretty good at that.
Oh, one of the top officials in the league and has been for many years.
Herb Williams, you saw him come into the lineup in his 17th year, waived by the 76ers after the Knicks dealt him to Philadelphia in the Terry Cummings trade. They waived him, and the Knicks quickly picked him back up.
Well, for years when Herb was at Indiana, he averaged over 18 a game, was an outstanding low post guy. Since he's been with the Knicks, he's always been an insurance guy in case anything happened at playoff time, because they know he can rebound and block shots. He doesn't have the old touch like he used to on the boxes with the jump shots and the jump hooks.
The center court tip controlled by the Miami Heat. They're shooting 30%. That's because of the Knicks defense. They're doing a remarkable job in this first half. 1:20 remaining in the first half. And here is Bashawn Leonard hitting a 3 or 2. They had his foot on the line. Changed it at the last minute. Miami with 17 points in the first quarter, only 14 so far in the second. And the Knicks by 10. 1 minute remaining in the first half, and Allen Houston is tangled up and fouled by Dan Marley, his second.
Houston made one of his free throws. We pick it up a little later. The Knicks lead by 11.
Under a minute remaining in the first half. New York by 11. Their biggest lead 13. Hardaway with a great going away off-balance bank shot in. Tim Hardaway now with 10, leading the Heat.
He just did a Fred Astaire. Now, for all that, Fred Astaire was a great tap dancer.
Oh,
and that's exactly it.
Everyone.
He just did a beautiful, a masterful job getting down in the lane, maneuvering himself at his pace.
And Gene Kelly could have thrown him into. Knocked away, last touched by the Knicks with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Are we outdating ourselves or what?
Well, you know what? Seriously, you know, who's better than Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly?
Oh, come on. Oh, well. You have a few guys on Broadway.
Talking about history.
Yeah, history.
20 on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock in the first half. Here is Childs, and Chris Childs hits a 2-point basket. Childs scoring 6 points here in the second quarter. Larry Johnson with 7 in the second quarter. They have been the big guns for the Knicks in this second period. And the final seconds of the first half. And the crowd has to enjoy the New York Knicks effort in a very critical game with the playoff hopes on the line. Hardaway hard off the glass, and time is going to run out.
On the back of a great effort at both ends of the court, the Knicks end the half in front. So an 11-point lead there for the Knicks, but Dave, in that first half, was all about the Heat's big man.
Yeah, hey, so, man, I don't think he could see through that mask. He had only 8 points. Charles Oakley did a great defensive job.
Absolutely. More from Dave a little bit later on. And plus, of course, we have that second half for you. And we hear from another big man in his best suit. It is the Knicks, Buck Williams. We'll see you soon. So welcome back, 44-33 New York lead, and with me Buck Williams, sadly not playing, and sir, bit of a story with the Knicks at the moment, this, isn't it?
Yes, we had a lot of injuries this year, and hopefully we can get the players back before the playoff starts.
You've had an interesting season though, because with all those injuries, a little bit of loss of form here and there, but you're still in there. Are you quite pleased?
Yes, we're quite pleased. We're playing real hard. We really pushed the ball down the floor, getting a lot of things out of the offense, and hopefully we play a little better once all the players come back.
The playoffs is the big deal. You've got to get there, but once you get there, do you think you're ready to take it on?
Yes, no question about it. It's a whole different season. The players raise their level of play to a very high level, and I showed it with the Knicks basketball team. We're going to be in the thick of it all playoff long.
Speaking about that high level, this first half, most impressive. They've come out and they're taking them on.
Yes, they play with a lot of emotion tonight. They're playing very hard. They're moving the basketball, and defensively we're playing very well, which I think is the key to the basketball game.
And you think you guys will hang on in there, going to win this one?
We're going to win this one and take it on home. We're going to play them again on Sunday.
There you go. That's Buck's words. Let's see how it goes in this second half. And into the third quarter, New York continue to put Zoe off his rhythm. We pick it up with the Knicks lead still 11, and they have possession with the ball in the hands of home team hero Oakley.
Allen Houston turnaround over Marley, and Allen Houston, you pointed out at the half how he has been the offensive force. He's got 14.
Dick, to me, Dan Marley cannot play him now. This isn't Thunder Dan, who was at Phoenix and one of the better defenders in the league. Ever since Dan has had leg problems and stuff like that, he's having trouble guarding you off the dribble.
Despite the morning scoring spree, the Knicks are still able to maintain a healthy lead. And clearly, Zoe's still not exactly happy. We pick it up with just under 9 minutes to go, and the Knicks still hold a double-figure lead.
Allen Houston continues his hot shooting. He's got 16 now, and the Knicks lead by 11. So Patrick Ewing's return to the Knicks problematical at best, and we've of course not heard from the doctors as far as a medical clearance. Brown going low to Mourning, and Mourning now with 8 points here in this third quarter cuts the Knicks lead to 9.
Now, Dick, that was a very dangerous pass from P.J. Brown. How it got through, almost a miracle. But then Mourning sent it down strong.
Here is Oakley, P.J. Brown all over him. With 8:15 remaining in the third quarter, he's trying to make a run here in this second half. Here's Cummings facing Mourning. 3 on the shot clock. And the rebound Brown. So the Miami Heat making a run. Their only lead, 3-0 to start this game. Ever since that point, it's been the New York Knicks, sparked by their defense. 10 on the shot clock. Leonard being shadowed by Mills. Here is P.J. Brown banking it in, and the Miami Heat on an 8-2 run.
Veteran Terry Cummings put an end to that run. As we rejoin the game, the Knicks have stretched the lead to 11 again. The Heat had the ball.
A 9-point lead for the New York Knicks, who have been out-rebounded by the Miami Heat here in this third quarter. Marley off the screen and misses the three.
That was a beautiful play, Dick. Marley came off the stagger, was wide open.
Allen Houston hits. Allen Houston with 18 points coming into the game as the second leading scorer behind Ewing, who's out. He's averaging 18, and Allen Houston delivering under pressure with the big man out the last 50. Hardaway goes out to Marley, goes back to Strickland with a turnaround. Crashing the boards was Cummings and Mourning into the hands now of Houston. The Knicks are up by 11. Nearly 5.5 to go in the third. Cummings going strong with a great feed to Mills. His follow-up misses. Mills had 2 shots at the basket and came up empty.
They got caught underneath the rim, Dick. Oh, yes, Timmy.
Wild lay-in attempt misses. A 4-on-2 right now for the Knicks. Here's Chris Mills going strong, and Mourning got a piece of that one.
Look up, look up.
On the other end, here's Tim Hardaway behind to Mourning, and a great no-look pass by Tim Hardaway. And a foul as well. That was a tremendous exhibition of passing as Oakley commits his 4th foul.
Hardaway never came across half court. He sucked the defensive player to him and then goes behind his back. See, you see Hardaway, he's down in that right-hand corner as Miami is moving the ball up court. Now watch as he takes a defender to him, goes behind the back. Mourning, that was a tough shot for Mourning because he had already elevated.
Tim Hardaway with 9 assists in the game. 5 here in the third quarter alone. And Alonzo Mourning trying to bring the Miami Heat to within 8. He hasn't missed a shot in the second half from the field, and it is a 57-49 lead for the Knicks, winding down to 5 minutes to go here in the third.
Nick, with New Jersey beating Boston 117-104 in Boston, a lot of pressure on the Knicks to win this game here this season.
No question about it, and they could see that score up there with the rest of the 19,000 plus here at the Garden. Knicks coming in the loss column with the New Jersey Nets, with Washington and Orlando 2 losses more, and Orlando winning against Detroit in the fourth quarter of their game. Great as Houston went baseline and just beat Dan Marley, who is left lurking.
Dan Marley got caught turning his head looking for the ball. Beautiful backdoor by Houston.
And the Knicks are up by 10. Their biggest lead was 13. Here is Marley off the screen. Mourning getting the offensive rebound, and he is fouled by Cummings. A 2-shot foul. Cummings with a hard foul on Alonzo Mourning. You can't argue with that one. This is out of Pat Riley's playbook.
Yeah, well, this is a big game for both teams. You're not going to allow him to catch the basketball on a dotted line and slam dunk with 2 hands. So naturally, you're going to foul him, and they caught him on the hand. Now, here it is right now. Now, just watch as Mourning goes to step for the 2-power dunk. All right, they come right across the arms. Hey, that's playoff basketball right there. They are not going to let you get the ball above your number. You get it above your number, you'll take the guy right to the rim for a potential 3-point play.
Cummings with his 3rd personal foul, and Mourning on the free throw line. Keith Askins has checked in for the Heat, replacing Dan Marley. Marley tonight has scored only 2 points. And a chance for the Heat and Mourning to cut the deficit now to 8.
A lot of credit to Chris Mills and Houston regarding Marley. Now, I meant Marley has missed some wide open threes.
1 out of 2 from the line. Mourning has scored 12 here in this third quarter, but the New York Knicks trying to protect the lead, playing inspired basketball after several less than inspired efforts. Here's the turnover by the Miami Heat. Strickland with a 3-on-3. Leonard, and it was Charlie Ward who made the defensive play of getting a piece of that pass. Starks in the game. Playing a little bit of a Miami pace right now.
Oh, he had a layup.
Here's Starks for 3. And he had 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Fans wanted to travel right there on Mourning. That was close.
And here's a great pass into Strickland from Hardaway. And the lead now is 7.
Miami continued to close, We pick it up with under 2 minutes to go, and the New York lead is now just 6.
It's 64-58 with the time you see remaining in the third quarter. The Knicks led by 2 after 1 quarter, 11 at the half, but Miami has made a third quarter run here. Larry Johnson with an arcing shot. Cummings gets the offensive rebound over Strickland. Childs, a 2-point basket for Chris Childs, who has been impressive tonight with 8 off the bench.
Yes, he has, and he looks good, and he's shooting with a nice freedom. But give Terry Cummings a lot of credit there for the rebound and then the pass.
And when you consider the Knicks undermanned at the big post position, he's giving him great play. Askins with a 3. Keith Askins with his second 3-point basket of the game, and the lead now is 5.
He's in there for defense, but he also has the green light to shoot the 3.
And getting knocked down.
Well, Eric Murdoch.
Right, Murdoch.
Yeah, and they're going to put Chris Childs on the line. But Eric Murdoch, you know, is like a nudge. He's out there. He's always looking for the deflection or the steal. Great pickup, by the way, by Miami. Great pickup.
Oh, terrific. And for you people maybe in the Midwest or the Rocky Mountains who want to know what does nudge mean, kind of a pest, would you say? It was the closest one.
Absolutely.
In the East, it's nudge. In the Midwest, it's pest. Under a minute remaining here in the third. Chris Childs trying to give the Knicks a 7-point lead. Knicks trying to end a 3-game losing streak here at home against the Heat.
Jeff Van Gundy told you and I, we're good when our perimeter people get their points. And you think about it tonight, you know, they're getting it. Houston has been hot. Mills has done a nice job. Starks got his in the first, and Childs is continuing.
Here is Mourning posting up against Cummings with 8 on the shot clock, and Alonzo Mourning doesn't see the roll go for it. And the Knicks with a 7-point lead have withstood this third quarter run, although you know Miami is going to come out with another explosion somewhere in the fourth. Pass is off the hands of Cummings from Childs.
Now you say, well, you know, that was a little bit of a bullet pass. Yeah, it was, but Terry Cummings knew it was his mistake because that ball was catchable.
That's only the 7th turnover by the Knicks, so they protected the ball pretty well thus far. They're playing for the last shot of this third quarter. Strickland setting a screen. Murdoch gets it into the corner. Haskins with the basket. Don't tell me he's a defensive player first, but he can hit the perimeter shot. Allen Houston at the buzzer falls off.
So the Miami comeback is on. They end the quarter trailing by only 4. So into the fourth quarter. There's under 10 minutes to go, and Miami still trail by only 4.
Here's Houston trying to beat Askins off the dribble. Ball away goes. Allen Houston, who has 13 points here in the second half, and the Knicks lead by 6.
Dick, that was a beautiful bump with that left forearm. He just bumped that defender, knocked him off balance.
Houston's been shooting extremely well lately. 10 of 16 last night. He has made 11 of 19 tonight. P.J. Brown with only his 6th point of the game.
P.J. can make that shot, Dick. He's floating right around 10 points, 9.5. Now he can make the shot, so you have to pay attention to him.
Nearly 3 minutes have gone by in the fourth quarter. Here's Childs. Goes low to Larry Johnson. Brown with 4 fouls is guarding Johnson. LJ with a turnaround. And Starks is fouled hard. He got the rebound. Good hustle, and the foul will be called against Murdoch.
Well, they'll take that on the side. Loose ball. This is just good hustle by both guys. Now look, watch the challenge there. You see that challenge that forced Johnson to let that one up short. And then the collision.
You can sense how much both teams want this game.
Big, right now you're just watching the standings. Look at that loss column. That's the column to follow.
Here's Oakley open at the top of the key. Yes. Charles Oakley, who was effective early with 8 first quarter points, now has 12 on 6 for 10 shooting from the field.
Well, you know, it's just interesting, Dick. Tonight, the Knicks got 8 more attempts, you know, by the turnovers, and then also the second shot attempts. Not many, but enough.
Well, there was a turnover, and there was a basket by Chris Childs, who's having a big game tonight off the bench. We said Childs has been in and out of the lineup with injury, and maybe not as given the Knicks all they wanted, but he's got 12 off the bench tonight.
The bench has been really big. Now, that was just a drop ball by Hardaway. Good hands, good deflection by John Starks. And this is a guy right now, we told you at the top when he came in, he's a scoring point guard. And that's his mentality. He's going to take it, and when he's on a roll like he is tonight, he's extremely dangerous.
4 for 4 from the free throw line. The Knicks have outscored Miami's bench, sparked by Childs' 12 points. 4 of 5 from the field, giving the Knicks a bench a big lift tonight.
Well, Childs, 85% foul shooter, Dick. You know, that's why I say, see, the Knicks got 5 guys who shoot over 80%. So do Miami.
And the Knicks on a 9-2 run after the Miami Heat cut the lead to 4. 77-68. P.J. Brown hits the basket, and the lead is 7.
After Brown's basket, Van Gundy has changed things with Houston taking a rest. Despite that, we return, and the Knicks lead has been cut to 6.
Here is Hardaway. Nothing for Mourning. Plenty of 5 on the shot clock. Hardly plenty of time. Here's Murdoch with a runner. Mourning trying to get position for the offensive rebound, but he touches it last. So the Knicks take over.
Miami, because they're such a great three-point shooting team, they're never out of the woods. And anytime you say 6, you're only talking 2 possessions.
Miami Heat have not lost 2 in a row since the end of January and the first game in February. That is a remarkable record of consistency. Here is Larry Johnson working against P.J. Brown. Starks. Now 2 for 10 from the field. John Starks. And now the Heat again with 5:40 to go. Hardaway for 3. That was a long 3, wasn't it? From our table. P.J. Brown with a follow. And all of a sudden the Heat storming back, trailing by only 4. The Knicks have been scoreless in the last 3 minutes of this 4th quarter, yet they cling to a 4-point lead. The Nets won tonight, Orlando won, so a lot of pressure on the Knicks in the playoff picture. 6 on the shot clock. Oakley throws the ball, and the time running down. Childs will fire it away and miss, but Larry Johnson with a big offensive rebound.
It's Larry. Hey, listen, it's Chris Childs' night tonight.
Yes, it is. Let's just give him the night. Here is Larry Johnson with a left-handed hook. Goes off the rim after a deflection.
That's a strong move.
So the Heat down by 4. Closest they've gotten here in the second half, 68-66. Trying to make a major run here with 4:38 to go in the 4th. Here's Hardaway, misses a 3 from the corner. P.J. Brown fouled and can cut the lead to 2.
See, right now, P.J. Brown, he's flexing his muscles against Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson cannot keep him off the offensive boards. He's got the size and he's got the long arms, and no matter, even if Johnson is inside of him, he's just rebounding up over the top.
The foul is on Mills, his second. P.J. Brown, who didn't score much last night in his return after missing 6 games, but did get 10 rebounds, has 11 rebounds tonight as Alonzo Mourning and Pat Riley discuss things over in front of the Miami bench.
P.J. is 77% foul shooter. The thing about P.J. is he understands his role. His role is a defender first, a rebounder, and then whatever happens, he's subservient to the offense. He's like a garbage man.
Brown with 7 points in the 4th quarter. The Knicks up by 3. 4:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. Next foul for either team will result in the penalty. Oakley shooting over Brown, and the rebound by Mourning.
That was an excellent rotation by Miami. They are not going to allow Houston to beat his man off the dribble from the wings.
Childs defending against Hardaway. Here's Mourning with the turnaround, and the lead is 1 as the Miami Heat, down by as many as 13 tonight, trail 77-76.
Big key now, remember, foul on either team, you're shooting a penalty.
Morning with 26 points tonight. Oakley open, and Charles Oakley has hit several key baskets from the perimeter tonight.
It's become tit for tat. Miami have hit with Leonard on the jumper, but the Knicks have countered with his superb defensive play by Charles Oakley, which means that the Knicks have been able to stretch their lead to 4. We pick it up with under 2 to go. Miami have the ball.
Under 2 minutes to go. Hardaway hits. And you know what? A 2-point basket by Hardaway. 16 for him.
He's such a gutsy, prime time, in your face, I want the ball under pressure player.
And he does it time and time again. Right. And the lead now is 2. Possession's critical now with 1:35 remaining in the fourth quarter and 10 on the shot clock. Here's Allen Houston with a fall away against 3 defenders. Knocked out of bounds, and it's Knicks ball.
There's only 6 seconds. Miami, they close out well. New York, this is what has been their bugaboo for the season. 15 losses.
Allen Houston misses it with 1 second showing on the shot clock. 1:20 to go, and Miami Heat in position to tie the game or take the lead. Since the Knicks led by 9, Miami has shot 4 of 7 from the field. And the Knicks have struggled. Hardaway leaves it for Leonard, and Marshawn Leonard with a miss. Batted away by Brown. It'll be Knicks ball.
Yeah, that was all by design. That was a play coming out of the huddle, fake going to the left, come back off the screen and roll, split the screen and roll with the dribbler, and then look for that corner jump shot.
The Knicks have only 1 basket, Hubie, in the last 7 minutes of this final quarter, and they cling to a 2-point lead.
I see. I like this. You got to go to this guy. I'd even
here. Childs firing away, and he misses. Tipped up. Oakley gets the big rebound, as he has all night.
That's right. And you have to stay and run some things for Allen Houston.
Only 1 timeout left for the New York Knicks, and that could be important. Miami has 3 full timeouts plus a 20. Both teams in the penalty. The Knicks lead and have the ball by 2. Mills with Oakley, Johnson, Childs, and Houston now in the low post against Leonard. The double team, and Hardaway knocked it away, and it's going to be Miami ball, and it was Tim Hardaway who made it happen.
Yes, he did. That was an excellent deflection, Dick. Not only did he get a hand on it, he dove for it. Now you see a concerned Patrick Ewing right there. Now just watch as you get it. There's your deflection right there. And then as we go for the dive, all right, the ball goes off at Childs. Not only did it go off his hand, but it also went off his rump, out of bounds.
Knicks have turned it over 5 times here in the fourth quarter. And that's because of the great hands by the Miami defense. Hardaway high. He was looking for at least a foul, and he all he did was throw a ball into the stratosphere. Pat Riley's Miami Heat could fall behind Indiana if they lose that game for the second best record in the conference should those teams meet in the playoffs, and the Knicks getting pressure with New Jersey and Orlando winning tonight. Big game.
They're not playing the man out of bounds. They used Mourning as a oh boy, okay.
They fouled Allen Houston. It was Leonard, and they quickly fouled him, so there's still 17.4 showing on the clock.
Well, there's nothing you can do there because they kept the ball out of bounds until Allen Houston opened up, and then they got the ball to their best foul shooter.
Houston has missed all 3 Knick free throws. The Knicks are 21 of 24. Houston is 5 of 8. And now Houston misses his 4th. So the Heat stay in this game because it is now a 1-possession game. If Houston makes it, the Heat trail by only 3.
Critical right now, Miami, you must block out and get this rebound and call timeout.
And it finally drops. A timeout called by Miami.
So Riley gets a chance to draw up a game-time play with just under 20 seconds to go.
Now, if you're wide open, the 3 is always what you were looking for because you're going for the top.
And Miami has tried 17 3-pointers, but the Knicks are going to give them resistance but not foul them, so it's a 3-point play.
They're going for a 3 right here.
Murdoch guarded by Starks out of the perimeter. Murdoch trying to find an opening, and he can't get it off. 1 second, and the Knicks just would not let Miami get the 3 three-point shot off.
Standing defense. Outstanding defense.
The Heat had their run, no surprises there, Dave, but in the end, the Knicks hung on in there.
That last play was awesome. That was great, solid Knicks defense. And Allen Houston, he came up big in the end. I liked his game. Starks didn't do great, but they didn't need him tonight.
The Knicks in the second half are notoriously bad, and teams do get back at them. What was the difference?
You know what? Alonzo Mourning had a big game, but the other players like Tim Hardaway, Dan Marley, they really kept them in check. Knicks defense, hey man, they needed this one for the playoffs.
I think like Oak's last rebound and Larry's last tip to get an offensive rebound, those are the type of plays that are winning plays.
Oh, at the end, just didn't get off. Good defense. 2 times down the court, they played good defense.
We had to have a 3, with that short amount of time. We tried to play, for us to get the 3 off. We couldn't, and you have to give them credit on that last play.
Everybody just kept pressing. When we got down, we pressed a little harder and stayed together and got what we needed done.
Even though guys were a little tired, we knew what type of game we were going to play and what type of game we were going to be in for. So it was either we're going to just have to go all out and just really be aggressive and play with some passion or the same old story, and we didn't want that to happen.
We just didn't execute on the defensive end. I mean, playing good hard defense. And we got good shots, and that's not the point. We just didn't rebound the ball, and we let them get a lot of easy, open shots.
The dizziness wasn't there as much, but just the distortion. I mean, having a big piece of plastic on your face is moving, and it's a distraction, man. I mean,
I thought Miami played a great third quarter, had a chance, but it was a good win for us, really good win.
They're a great team, and they play the type of basketball that, they play in the old days. Bang, 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 defense. The main ingredient is to stop your man, and that's the way the game's supposed to be played. And I'm pretty sure I speak for all the guys in this locker room that they enjoy playing them, and I'm pretty sure they enjoy playing us. More than worrying about the first round matchups, we have to worry about winning games from here on out, and we can't worry about who we're playing yet. We have to worry about getting out in a position. We haven't been playing particularly too well the last 5 games, and knowing that if we, face them in the playoffs, a win of this nature does good for our psyche. They're a tough team, tough-minded, mentally strong, but we are too, and whatever teams break the other team's will mentally is going to win the game, and it was our night tonight.
What a week for the Utah Jazz. They clinched the Midwest Division title. Jerry Sloan wins the Coach of the Month award for his crafty moves. And Karl Malone shipped a nasty blow over to the Admiral. That'll cost him $5,000 and a few lost friends.
I didn't see the initial blow. I only saw when he fell, so I can't make my own judgment on it. I'll probably see it on tape, see it on TV somehow, and then see how it goes.
Everybody's been hitting on the Nuggets all season, but not any longer. They finally got win number 10. Now they're not the worst team in the NBA. We knew you could do it, fellas. Michael Jordan has to be proud of this shot. It was his 29,000th point of his career. The bigger news is the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. As of Sunday, New York and New Jersey held the 7th and 8th playoff spots. Orlando and Washington were on the outside looking in, tied for 9th place. That's why Sunday's game in Washington was so huge for the Magic and Wizards. Rod Strickland gave the Wiz kids an early lead with the reverse. Nick Anderson tried to keep the Magic in it. But Chris Webber really wanted to win it because the 8th spot was just too important. He took this nice dish from Hot Rod to seal the deal for the Wizards. Man, Sunday was a bad day for Orlando, and they're feeling the pressure because they found themselves 1 game behind the Wizards. Now it was New Jersey's turn to handle the pressure on Monday. They faced the Hornets and looked as cool as a cucumber. The Hornets gave the Nets a game, but Sam Cassell was loving the challenge, keeping New Jersey in the 8th spot. He was kicking in some huge points. Cassell. Kerry Kittles gave the Nets plenty of punch to take the win. Hey, Sammy, take a look at the standings now, because on Monday night, Jersey was able to hang on to the 8th spot. The Wizards needed this game against the Bulls on Tuesday real bad. So they went to their primetime players to build a lead.
Wants it on the block. Webber, great look, Strickland. Nicely done.
Some real bad news. Rod Strickland came up limping, and that's when Jordan smelled blood.
Here's Jordan.
Oh, bring it home, Michael.
And Pippen showed some life.
Pass for Weber, stolen by Pippen.
And Rodman polished off the whiz.
Rodman filling the lane.
This loss really hurt Washington in the standings. They fell a game and a half out of the playoff race, and that dropped them back into a tie with Orlando. That left the door wide open for the Magic to make a move. And on Wednesday, they got serious right away.
Horace Grant is open.
But Detroit was trying to spoil the party.
Back to Hill. Over to Brian Williams, who'll put it on the floor. He's in trouble, and it's stolen for a moment. Now one to shoot. Got it off, and he hit it.
The Pistons kept the pedal to the metal,
Beautiful play by Stackhouse.
but the solution for the Magic was Anderson. He showed up just in the nick of time. And what a clutch win for Orlando. That left them alive and kicking and breathing down New Jersey's neck. Later that night, the Nets had to crank it up again, this time against the Celtics. And once again, Sammy Cassell was the energizer.
But Cassell comes away with it. Cassell the push. Sam all the way for two.
New Jersey started to sweat when Antoine Walker got busy, and then Mercer too.
Banks it home. Walker misses the three. Mercer the offensive board. Oh, Ron Mercer!
And when you've got Sammy dishing out the pain, it's all good. The Nets solved the Celtics riddle with Kittles.
Kittles, oh, that was a big-time shot.
Yeah, and a big-time win for Jersey because they remained ahead of the Magic. That meant that Washington had to win to keep their hopes alive on Thursday. And the news got worse for Washington. They report that Strickland could miss the rest of the season, so Chris Webber tried to pick up the slack for the Wizards. But Detroit is getting used to their spoilers role.
Stackhouse the alley-oop.
And even enjoying it.
Dumars from way outside.
Forget Elvis. The Washington coach left the building. He didn't want to see his playoff hopes fade.
Ahead for Stackhouse, and Jerry leaves it off to Jerome Williams.
Hey, these guys must be Wizard fans. Chicago's not struggling to make the playoffs, but they needed this game to keep their top record in the league alive.
Jordan ahead of the pack to smash it home.
But Cleveland was up.
Brevin Knight just ripped Dennis Rodman. Knight will run on Pippen and put it down.
Way up.
Brevin Knight picks Scottie Pippen. The solo from the young man from Stanford.
Way, way up.
Kemp with a steal. Watch the Rain Man.
Man, the Cavs take a huge game off the champs. So as it stands now, the Bulls still own the best record in the NBA. Atlanta clinches a playoff spot. At the bottom, New Jersey is only one game behind New York for the 7th spot. Orlando is still in the race, but for Washington, it's not looking good. The playoffs started today. The matchups in the East would look like this. Chicago would face New Jersey. Miami and the Knicks would get their grudge match on again. Indiana would get Cleveland, and Charlotte would meet Atlanta. Let's not forget about the West. Utah has the second best record in the NBA and the top spot in their conference. Seattle is far from done. They're only a half game back with the Lakers still knocking on the door. And watch out for San Antonio and Phoenix. They'll meet in the playoffs. The other potential playoff matchups in the West would be Utah versus the Rockets. Seattle would get it on with the young gun bunch from Minnesota, and LA would tangle with Portland.
You may not be able to even dunk a biscuit, but you can still see the likes of Grant and Kobe in the flesh at next year's All-Star Game in Philadelphia if you're the ultimate winner of our NBA competition. Each week a winner goes into the draw and earns themselves a ball and hoop, while 3 runners-up prizes also include the right kind of NBA apparel, a Sony PlayStation with NBA Live 98, or the finest in NBA videos. Last week we were looking for the young man in the NBA and found him in 18-year-old Toronto Raptor Tracy McGrady. Congratulations to our winner and runners-up. This week we want to know what player had the best defence last season. Was it A, Gary Payton, B, Dikembe Mutombo, or C, Patrick Ewing? So who had best D, A, B or C? Call us on 0891 24/7 24/7 with your answer, and remember to ask for permission if it's not your phone. So take it away. So a massive win for New York here in the Garden. And as a result, tomorrow we go Knicks nuts. This man is delighted about that.
Yeah, lunchtime on 24/7. Scoop Jackson gives up some love to my man Allen Houston, and I take a look at the only team that matters, the New York Knicks in hoopology.
Yeah, he always says that. Don't forget as well, Channel 4 has midweek late night action for you from the NBA, and then Raw is back on Saturday morning. Utah, the mighty team in the West, they take on the Phoenix Suns. But don't forget, we're back with you tomorrow, 24/7 style. See you then.